Is still with us, forensic psychiatrist and expert trial witness, Dr. Carole Lieberman in Los Angeles. And Carole, the decision was made not to have a jury here. Why do you think that was the decision? Was it just too much? Do some people, do you think it was a calculation that dead baby, this is too much for some people?
No, I think that they thought that they stood a better chance in trying to convince the judge than a whole jury. It's a very interesting case. I do think the parents bear some blame, but maybe that would be about 10%, and the midwife 90%. But they said at the beginning that the mother had some kind of traumatic thing happened to her in a hospital, and she had PTSD, and that's why she didn't want to go to the hospital to have her babies, both of them. But so it's not clear what that exactly was. I think there was basically, I'm very familiar with this kind of with patients like this. And I did a sub internship. I did after medical school. I spent 3 months training in OBGYN as part of a rotation surgery and pediatrics and so I'm very familiar with mothers who decide to have a home birth, which really isn't done very much these days, but it's kind of a collusion between the mother and midwives who to promote home birth it's kind of collusion against the medical establishment. I don't mean a legal collusion, I mean a psychological collusion. And so to that extent, they are both somewhat responsible. But this woman, this midwife, has to be put out of business, maybe not for 20 years, but she is very dangerous. Here she admits it. I don't want to be registered because I don't want to have to follow the rules. I mean, really, that's a clue right away for any mother. It should be not to use her.
Put out of business or put in prison. That's what's on the on the table here. We got to get a break. Last word, Carole.
Well, of course, it used to be that people didn't always go to the hospital. I mean, back in the day, there were home births and so on. But in this family, the first child was born a breech and had to have a C-section. And although there's some controversy about it, generally it's thought that any subsequent births are probably going to be breech, or at least need to have a C-section, whether they're breech or not. Once you have a C-section, you need to have a C-section after that. Now, there's doctors don't all agree about that, but there was enough knowledge ahead of time, and even they had gotten at least one opinion from a doctor who said that this would probably need a C-section. They shouldn't have taken the chance with this baby with a woman who had no training or little training.
That was the parents' choice, along with possible consultation with the defendant here. We'll get a break in here. Carole, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Marie's going to stick around.